You're drinking, Steve.
It's working. And how it's working. It's about 2:10 in the morning, Friday morning, Paris time. That would be about 8:10 in the morning, Thursday night, 8:10 Thursday night, Chicago time. No pain is being felt at this moment. Memphis Slim and Willie Dixon, of all people, these two fine blues artists are here in Paris. Is at a place called Les Trois Maillettes.
Trois Maillettes.
Trois Maillettes.
Oui,
You got
monsieur.
me, Memphis. You know your French so well and you're playing the slow blues.
Merci beaucoup.
It's a 56 Rue Galande, arrondissement V5. And this is a place where the true blues is being played in the land some 5,000 miles away from Chicago. And Willie and Memphis, who've been to Israel, been to Strasbourg, been to Switzerland, are playing the slow blues now.
All over Germany.
And all over Germany. It's Memphis you hear.
With the exception of Hamburg.
And that's Willie's bass that we're listening to. And just as we're listening to this,
Switzerland and England.
where, Willie?
Switzerland and England.
Switzerland and England.
Austria.
And Austria. I'll ask you in a moment about reactions to your playing. Israel.
Israel last year.
Last year. And I'll ask about reactions to what you're playing.
Yeah, the first of this year.
And the first of this year.
Yeah, this year we've been pretty busy.
You know, as the audience can probably gather by now, we're feeling fine. And why not just play a little of that blues, perhaps sing a bit of that slow blues, whether it's How Long, or whatever you have in mind right now. And we'll talk about experiences and feelings some several thousand miles away from home and audiences. Go ahead.
This is what you may call, for my listening audience, complicated blues. I'll tell you what I mean. I've got the blues. Me too. Because I feel so good. I've got the blues. Because I feel so good. I'm so happy where I'm at. That everybody loves me in my neighborhood. Mine too. Mine, don't worry no more. Oh well. You know my mind don't worry no more. I found peace of mind, and I'm happy every place I go. Willie, you must have something to say. I'm so glad. I don't know what to do. You know I'm so glad. I don't know what to do. And I feel so good. Back home, I'm sorry for you. Tell it, Slim. Since Stuss mentioned about Israel, Germany, Austria, England, Denmark, Sweden, France,
You said France.
France.
Yes, of course.
Please.
And all over Europe and the Mideast, I found the blues everywhere. I'd like to tell you about it.
I feel the blues all in the air. I find the blues everywhere. I've been way to the holy city. I found the blues. Where? Over there. I found them too. I've got the blues. People, and so have you. But I'm so glad I know just what you do. I just sing and I sing until my dream comes true. Now you may not believe in reincarnation, but I know the blues, they live again. With all this hatred of nation against nation that put the blues right in its trend. I want to tell you, people, if I can, blues and trouble both run hand in hand. And at a time like this, I know the blues is in command. Nobody with it.
I know how you feel.
Blues ain't nothing but a good gal on your mind. You know the blues ain't nothing but a good gal on your mind. And when I think about my good girl, I think about Paris and a wonderful time. So if you don't see me, if you don't see me in a long, long time, if you don't see me, and you don't see me in a long, long time, you tell all my friends when you saw me, old Willie Dixon was sure feeling fine. Sing Blues Slim. I met a gal in Paris, France, while at a rockin' Pigalle dance. I want to tell you, that's where I found Pigalle Love. Pigalle Love. While she was dancing so close to me, I call her darling. She says, Cherie, two hearts together, forever bound. Pigalle Love, Pigalle Love. But then one day, one cold great day, I had to tell my baby goodbye. There's no way to forget her kisses, no matter how I try. You know I'm over here, she's over there. And believe me, I'm stopping to get my fare, so I can go back where I found Pigalle Love, Pigalle Love.
You know, Memphis Slim and Willie Dixon As I listen to you sing this blues, this slow blues that has so many lyrics to it, and yet there's something Memphis sang a while ago, Willie, about nation and anti-nation, and the blues and the way tying them all together. What on the subject of blues and understand? You've played to people different languages. They may not understand the language you sing. How do they dig it, Memphis?
Oh, they dig it wonderfully. Stutz, you know, everybody told us when we were going to Israel, they said, no, this is not the place they want. And we had one of the best reception in Israel that we had throughout the world, because we found that they have the blues over there. And the blues is not a matter of words, it's a soul, it's a feeling, you know. They don't have to understand what you're saying, although most people that speak English, really most people speak 4 or 5 different languages. But they just feel this blues, you know. You don't have to say a word, just play. You can play an instrumental and they dig you.
The blues itself is a feeling. And when you have that feeling, you have the blues. Now, it don't all consist of the one feeling all the time, because, I mean, various ones feel different ways. But the blues, when it hits you, you know you got it, because some folks feel like they got to jump off the highest building. And others feel like there are other ways to solve the blues.
Well, you know something? Before you go on to this matter of other ways to solve the blues and the variety of blues, listening to Memphis Slim, Willie Dixon tonight in this far-off city, Paris, far off from Chicago, that is, I was watching these young kids, the boys and the girls who were here, these young French kids, and they were digging everything you were putting down. They were listening. They understood it. Now, I imagine most understood English, but that isn't the big point. They understood the feeling of it. Was that
That's
it?
right, the soul part of it. That's like even vice versa. I mean, I listen to French singers and everything, and so many words they say, I don't know what they're saying, but I can feel what they're doing. And it's so plain as day that I can visualize, I can form a picture of what's going on, you know. You can tell from the chanteur or the singer, what have we, what he's talking about, whether it's sad, whether it's good, or what, you know. You don't have to speak the language. You can tell from what he's saying or how he's saying it, whether it's good or bad.
So it's a question then, not of the lyrics, although we know the lyrics, but even if someone doesn't know the lyrics, it's the way you sing it. Is that it?
Feel it anyway. He can feel it anyway, even if you don't know the lyrics. And the blues is there.
It ain't what
feel it.
The way that you do it.
It's how you do it. It isn't how you do it, it's how you do it, as the Duke would say.
Truer words were never spoken.
Pieces. Well, in all the countries you've been, is there one particular one that it is, or do you feel it's been universally dug, where you've been, in the countries you've been, the countries through which you've traveled? Are the reactions all the same, or are there special reactions in different countries?
Mostly all the same as far as blues concerned, but especially I love Paris and
that's where you are now.
yeah.
You know, there's...
And I love Paris because Paris loved me.
Paris is pretty good in the winter, too.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'd like to hear? This is a selfish request. You sang earlier, I didn't record this, and all the kids here were listening. They weren't too sure of the meaning of it, yet they got it, about the horse Stewball, even though you did it during the program earlier.
Well, as Willie told you, Stewball will also give you the blues because it's about the races. Now, anybody that played a racehorse, they know about the blues, because you show me 5 racehorse players and I show you 6 broke men or women or whatever the sex is, because you cannot beat the races, because you never know what's going to happen. But this was about Stewball. Stewball was the fastest horse in all the West. Right, Willie? Until
he was defeated by the opposite sex, just like always. Just like Adam. The first man and the last one. Adam and me.
But this is not a bad thing we're saying, because look at the fun you have, you know, being defeated. You know, I like being defeated as long as it's the opposite sex.
Crazy.
Some of the ladies who are seated here are somewhat indignant. They think this is an anti-feminist song, but go ahead.
Maybe Stewball gave up.
Should have.
There's a big day in Dallas. And I wish I were there.
spend my last $100 on that iron gray map to see her travel all day long.
See her travel all day long, all day long.
You know I don't mind horse racing. If it wasn't for my wife, old Stewball, he may stumble and away go my life, my wife and baby left behind, my wife and baby
Left behind, left behind. Old Stewball was a racehorse, but no Molly, she was too. Old Stewball,
yes,
he stumbled, and oh Molly, she flew
round the racetrack all day long, round the racetrack.
all day long, all day long.
All day long, round the racetrack.
All day long, all day long.
Oh, yes, all the horse players, that is. And I have a brother, he's never won on a race yet and plays. He knows the song so well.
And your
Memphis-
brother has a friend that never won on the races. The only people that went on the races are the executives and the
I
personnel.
never knew but one man who really cleaned up behind the horses. He was working there.
That's show business, he'd say.
he's
But
the janitor.
you know, as you're talking, right, only the few who, the operators win, that's all. Isn't that what the blues is about? Remember Big Bill used to say, only men who win really those with dollar signs for eyes.
Speaking of Big Bill, you know, a friend of mine, Dr. Buckeye in Chicago, that over here, he had a wonderful article that you wrote. I think it was in the Sun Times. He cut it out and sent it to me on Big Bill.
Yes.
Yeah, it was wonderful, you know, because Big Bill was a very good friend of mine, and we worked together for many years. And Big Bill really, should we say, hipped me to show business.
I know. Well, hipped you to even more than that, as I
Yeah.
remember, to the blues itself, to the
Yes.
idea of
Well,
being-
I always had the
Yeah.
blues. I was
Yeah.
born with
Yeah,
the blues.
I
you
know.
know. I
Remember, he said, "You be your own man."
Yes.
Not about, don't do what Roosevelt Sykes did, what you do,
That's
Memphis
very
Slim.
true, very
But I
true.
noticed, as you and Willie earlier were playing for a crowd of young French kids, and you mentioned Big Bill, and I heard this, oh, in the audience. They knew him.
They love
Yeah,
him in
yeah,
Europe. They
yeah.
love Big Bill
Yeah.
everywhere. All I have to do, if the audience is sad and seem like I'm not doing so good, the magic word,
Yeah.
Big Bill,
And that's it.
and everybody
Well,
becomes live again. It's
In a way,
wonderful.
Memphis Slim, you and Willie Dixon are not in a way, you are carrying on in Bill's tradition. Each man is different. As you know, as Bill used to say, all blues singers are different. You know, some people
Definitely,
don't.
yes.
Some people tell you all blues sound the same. Those who don't know it hear it first time.
Yes, very true, very true. They all say the blues sounds, but they, as Willie first said, the blues about different things, and there are different moods of blues for the particular individual.
Yes.
I have.
Now, you don't feel the same way twice, do you, Willie? For instance, here tonight you may feel one way in Paris, and yet at another morning in Strasbourg or Switzerland or Israel, you feel wholly different. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, in a way. It all depends. It all depends on who's who and what's what and where you're at and what's going on.
As a result of what you sing differently.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, you see, the blues express your feelings. And do you ever feel the same way? If you feel the same way, you'll sing the same way. But sometimes your feeling are absolutely different, and you feel different, and that makes you sing different. And when a person, someone that feel like you, hear you sing, in this particular feeling, then they feel the same thing.
That's very true. What I think I know what Willie mean. Like, say for instance, last night we were in Strasbourg. We had the pleasure of having with us last night Fats Domino, and Fats Domino, you know, has been playing quite a bit of rock and roll. But we played the blues, and we had Fats to do a couple of numbers. And Fats Domino almost missed his train because he didn't want to leave. He said, "I didn't want to come here, Slim, because I knew if I got around you and Willie, I wouldn't want to leave." And we had to take him up in our arm and put him on a train, and he caught the train by a hair. Now, what I was trying to say, last night in Strasbourg, I had the blues for Paris. Now I'm in Paris, I have the blues for Strasbourg. That means the blues live on and on, because you always have the blues for elsewhere.
And I have the blues for home.
For home. Well, on this,
And I'm at home.
Before we hear from someone else from Chicago who's here, Curtis Jones, Willie just said something about blues for home. The matter of homesickness itself, even though you find you are respected where you are in the different lands, does this hit you now and then, the idea of homesickness in Memphis?
You answer that, Willie. I'll take the
Oh, Willie.
Well, Slim say he'll take the fifth on that.
He'll take the fifth.
Well, you know what that'd be, the fifth admittance, you know.
I follow you.
Well, anyway, I tell you, it's like this, you know. With a man like me, I have a large family. And I mean, that's what makes the difference. You see, when you have a large family or something like that, you must think about your family, your children and everything and all like that. And so it gives me the blues for home once in a while. Well, Slim, he been here a good while, and he's about ready to call it home over here.
Slim is a continental.
I have a large family too, but I'm about ready to send for my family.
If you don't send for a family, he could probably start another one anyway.
You know what? Before we start,
No, I beg your pardon. You know,
this is heard in Chicago. I should make that clear. By the way,
it is impossible that I start another family, because I have enough headaches and everything. That's why I'm here, because of my family, the blues.
The matter of supporting
really,
them too, of
I
course.
can really support my family better than your
I
family.
think,
in my own home.
just to keep one point straight for those who may misinterpret, Memphis has been thinking of the family. That's why he's here, to make a living.
Yes.
And it's been rough in America. Let's face it.
Very true, very true. And unfortunately, it's very bad that I have to come here to introduce the blues,
When everybody got the blues.
because America is the home of the blues, and it's a sad thing, you know, to even think of.
American traditional music is the blues.
It's a sad thing to even think of. You have to leave the blues
The world accepts it much
to
better
introduce the
than
blues someplace else, and that's what I am, the blues, and that's the way I make my living. I don't know anything else to do but sing. As Willie says, sit and cry and sing the blues, because I inherited the blues. My father was a blues player and singer. My mother sang, and I had aunts and uncles and cousins, and many people that were also blues singers and players
In
of
other
different.
words, many generations of us before us.
Well, speaking of the blues, we have a very, very fine blues singer, because I mentioned him in one of my albums. I was always a fan of this blues singer, Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is a wonderful artist, and he's living now in Switzerland. I'm sure of that. Is that right, Curtis?
Curtis? Well, would you mind coming up here, Curtis? Just perhaps.
Curtis Jones,
Since
the man that
Memphis
made,
has mentioned
as
you.
I've said
Why
in
don't you
my
sit right
record,
here
is
next
Lonesome in my bedroom.
Lonesome.
I will give him my
Curtis,
seat.
I know who's been
Always.
traveling around. It's been difficult. The point that Memphis was making a moment ago, I think, can't be emphasized too much. Sometimes men are prophets without honor in their own country, and without profit, too. So, Curtis,
There
you...
are times when you use the utmost sense of judgment.
Curtis,
First, as I come in, I would like to congratulate Memphis Slim for his expressing my emotion towards the musical world and the feelings. And then I want to express my emotions of the many thanks and congratulations that I have to be chance to meet this opportunity to be on the program and in the presence of this company that I'm here cooperating with at the present moment. And I am a blues fan, and Memphis Slim and I, we've been friends for a great long many moons ago. I think it's about 1934, wasn't it, Slim?
Yes, right.
In North Little Rock, Argenta, Arkansas.
Jetta, Arkansas it
And
was?
Big Bill's home. Big Bill Bruins is
He
home.
was Arkansas.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
Curtis, what do you feel like? What hits you right now? Here we are. It's about, what time is it now? Paris time, 2:35. What kind of blues hit you right now?
Lonesome in my bed.
Y'all are asking.
Go ahead.
But
Anything you feel
I
like.
say everything have its season. Even the blues have its season. The year have its season. The weeks has a season. So I say it's time for love season.
Crazy.
Love season. But as the tension come around for Lonesome Bedroom Blue, that's one of my favorite recordings that put me in the limelight. So I like to give the people and the public what their heart desire. It's not me. The good Lord give me this talent for the public. So I owe it to them. Thank you very kindly. Lonesome in my bedroom, just me, myself alone.
Sing the blues.
Lonesome in my bedroom, just me, myself alone. I have no one to love me. Each night when I come home,
I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
a room without a woman is just like a heart without a beat. A room without a woman is just like a heart without a beat. Seems like every woman I get always wants to mistreat me. My room is nice and clean, but still that ain't no wife to me. Yes, my room is nice and clean, but still that ain't no wife to me. I need some loving woman just to keep my company.
That's just like you feel.
Curtis. Thank you. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Jones. Thank you, Curtis Jones. Now, I thought, Memphis, while you and Willie are still here, thank you, Curtis. That's been Lonesome Bedroom Blues. We know you for that. Perhaps something to end the session with. You began with the slow blues. Remember that? You and Willie Dixon, we Willie. We're now here. We're here in Chicago again.
Yes, sir. But before we end, we'd like to pay thanks to the proprietress, Madame Cave. You know, this is the Trois Maillet, located on the left bank.
Yes.
56 Rue Galland.
Oh, man.
Sur le Croix Rue Saint-Jacques.
Yes. We. You know, as Roy Eldridge once said, we man.
Madame Cave, wonderful woman, très jolie.
Memphis Slim and Willie Dixon of Chicago, now of just about everywhere at this moment. Paris, France, and the blues makes one feel pretty good.
I'll tell you what I mean.
I've got the blue. Me too. Because I feel so good. I've got the blue. Because I feel so good. I'm so happy where I'm at. And everybody loves me in my neighborhood. Mine too. Mine, don't worry no more.
The drinking's good.
It's working. And how it's working. It's about 2:10 in the morning, Friday morning, Paris time. That would be about 8:10 in the morning, Thursday night, 8:10 Thursday night, Chicago time. No pain is being felt at this moment. Memphis Slim and Willie Dixon, of all people, these two fine blues artists are here in Paris. It's at a place called Les Trois Maillettes.
Trois Maillet.
Trois Maillet.
Oui,
You got
monsieur.
me, Memphis. You know your French so well and you're playing the slow blues.
Merci beaucoup.
It's at 56 Rue Galland, arrondissement V5. And this is a place where the true blues is being played in a land some 5,000 miles away from Chicago. And Willie and Memphis, who've been to Israel, been to...
Oh, well, you know my mind don't worry no more. I found peace of mind, and I'm happy every place I go. Willie, you must have something to say. I'm so glad I don't know what to do. You know I'm so glad I don't know what to do. And I feel so good. Back home I'm
sorry for you. Tell it, Slim.
Since Stuss mentioned about Israel, Germany, Austria, England, Denmark, Sweden, France.
You said France.
France.
Yes, of course. Strasbourg, been to Switzerland. I'm playing the slow blues now.
All over Germany.
And all over Germany. It's Memphis you hear.
With the exception of Hamburg.
And that's Willie's bass that we're listening to. And just as we're listening to this,
Switzerland and England.
where will it?
Switzerland and England.
Switzerland and England.
Austria.
And Austria. I'll ask you in a moment about reactions to your playing. Israel.
Israel
Last year. I'll ask about reactions to what you're playing.
Yeah, the first of this year.
And the first of this year.
Yeah, this year we've been pretty busy.
You know, as the audience can probably gather by now, we're feeling fine. And why not just play a little of that blues, perhaps sing a bit of that slow blues, whether it's How Long, or whatever you have in mind right now. And we'll talk about experiences and feelings some several thousand miles away from home and audiences. Go ahead.
This is what you may call, for my listening audience, complicated blues.